Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers distribute supplies for the refugee families during the epidemic. A young woman challenges the male-dominated tree climbing specialist as her lifetime career. Welcome to the headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. In Malaysia, the government has extended the movement control order for another 14 days. Many low-income families could not work and earn money and therefore face food shortage. Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur's Selangor chapter immediately brought supplies to be distributed to 40 refugee families.
Kasih turun balik ini terlalu panjang nanti tak boleh turun.
There's rice, flour, noodles, sugar, canned food, and rice noodles. It's about 1.5 to 2 tons of supplies.
As the government implements movement control order for another 14 days, many people could not work, including the parents of Tzu Chi refugee school students. Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur's Selangor chapter immediately bought daily supplies to be distributed to families in need.
In the two schools, a total of 40 students face shortage of food. Because of the movement control order, their parents cannot work and earn money, so there is no food at home. Tzu Chi supplies can sustain them for a month. Hopefully, during the restriction period, they won't run out of food.
Working in a formal relay, Tzu Chi volunteers unload the supplies and package them into boxes.
We do our share to provide the supplies for them to pass this critical period.
I haven't worked for 2 weeks and cannot buy supplies as I was not paid. The food is enough for us. Thank you very much.
Besides distributing supplies, the volunteers also remind refugees to watch out for their personal sanitation during the epidemic time.
If you go out, you can clean your hands with this when you return home. Do not use this near the fire. This is only for your hands. Do not spray this on your face or body.
Helping people regardless of their ethnicities or religious beliefs, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to care for the needy during the epidemic period.
Starting on March 27, South Africa has been under lockdown and it will continue for 21 days. Tzu Chi South Africa chapter volunteers have mobilized to deliver 500 care packages to underprivileged residents, which include food, alcohol spray, and mask covers.
As the general public hoards supplies, the store shelves have become empty. The staff has to keep replenishing the supplies. Due to COVID-19 epidemic, South Africa has been under lockdown since March 27th. Tzu Chi volunteers have responded earlier and provided rice to the needy.
The Development Department in Johannesburg community has asked Tzu Chi to help the underprivileged residents, including the homeless and seniors.
Besides distributing 200 bags of rice, the volunteers also prepare 500 epidemic care packages for the underprivileged.
In the 21 days, it will be difficult to obtain daily supplies. We prepared what we think they might need during this time for the underprivileged people.
87-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Minghui is nicknamed Father Zhang. He has operated a clothing factory when he was young. Making mask covers is a simple task for him.
We saw the age of the mask covers, so the thread would not be shown.
Having prepared the daily supplies, the volunteers delivered them to different community care stations in Gauteng before lockdown is implemented.
Due to the epidemic, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hunan have been unable to go to nursing homes for more than 2 months, leaving their hair and nails of the elderly untrimmed. Now that the situation has begun to ease, the director of the nursing home asked for the help of volunteers.
After being away for nearly 3 months, Tzu Chi volunteers embarked on the road of caring for the elderly once again.
We received a call that day, and the director said it has been more than 2 months, and many grandparents have long hair and mustache. They can't go out for a haircut.
I don't normally have long hair like this. I must shave it all today.
The epidemic situation in China is gradually easing, but crowd controls are still in order as the visit by volunteers was restricted to 10 volunteers. Also, adequate epidemic prevention measures were put in place.
We fear having close contact with the elderly. We are afraid that some germs will infect the elderly, so we have to protect ourselves and also the elderly. So we wear this protective clothing.
Your protective gear and equipment are very good and very professional. Other people I would worry.
Every elderly is cared for from head to toe. To repay this affection, this grandmother wants to repay this kindness with vegetables that she planted.
I really like your vegetables, but Tzu Chi has regulations. The volunteers cannot accept gifts. So we Tzu Chi brothers and sisters would like to buy your cabbage for a few dollars. Is this okay?
As soon as she got the money for vegetables from volunteers, this grandmother immediately put it into the bamboo coin bank, wanting to pass on the warmth and compassion that she recently felt.
Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers began to teach Jingsi aphorisms in the campus 3 years ago, and now they've brought the love into remote villages. Let's join them there. To promote Jingsi aphorisms, Yangguan Tzu Chi volunteers went to monastery school in a local town.
The students used to be very naughty, but they've become polite and their grades improved after we taught them Jingsi aphorisms. Their parents were happy to see children become more mature.
I like the Jingsi aphorism class because I can learn a lot. My favorite one is helping others is helping oneself.
The Jingsi aphorism class is different from other courses. Some teachers use games while others use creative dramas. The interesting teaching method has inspired these children to enjoy learning.
Since I've learned a Jingsi aphorism that getting angry is actually punishing ourselves for the mistakes of others, I started fighting with friends. I've also reflected on myself to not be angry with my friends easily in the future.
In the past, children did not concentrate in class. However, this class, we teach through games, so everyone listens attentively and enjoys the games. They like this kind of teaching style.
Now the children can understand the Jingsi aphorism better. Now they are happy to attend this class and they love the stories.
Volunteers and teachers hope to teach children moral education from a young age so they can practice good manners and construct a positive value in life. In Taiwan, the job of a certified tree climbing specialist is mainly dominated by males, with only 3 female specialists in the country. Today, we meet the first female ever to be certified, Xu Renhan, who is also the youngest specialist to date.
12 meters off the ground and swinging back and forth in between the trees, this female tree climber specialist is making sure all the climbing equipment is secure for the class.
离开地球表面就不能解太扣环了。我们现在是动滑轮嘛，是省力系统，等于是你往上踩10公分，实际上上升你就上升5公分而已。会掉床哦。
It's more fun here, otherwise I have to go to English lessons.
Teaching how to climb trees is only a part of her job. Her main job as a tree worker is to check on the health of the trees and make necessary repairs or trims.
You can see a seal line right here. This means if we have done a good job of the repair, then in 3 to 5 or maybe even 10 years, it'll heal itself. It is telling us that it's healing well right now.
Xu Renghan, nicknamed Nen Nen, is 26 years old and majored in Chinese language education in college. She is the first female certified tree worker climber specialist in Taiwan.
Go, 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 go!
It's not easy to pass the certification, as one needs to identify different tree types, testing on tree climbing skills and equipment usage, as well as avoiding obstacles in the air.
I don't have natural talent, it comes from lots of practice. The first time I climbed, I went only as high as 2 stories and had to come down because I was scared.
To practice her tree climbing, she's had blisters on her hands and bruises on her body. She has even become tanned just to prove to her parents that she's capable.
In the beginning, they didn't like me climbing trees, especially my grandmother. She feels girls shouldn't climb this high, it's dangerous.
Her family did not understand the value of the job and only saw the dangers of it. It was only when she came home with an international championship trophy that her parents finally changed their minds.
I've impressed on them. Look, your daughter came in first place in an international competition. If you don't let me continue, then who has the privilege to do so?
With the opposition voices gone, now more than ever, she wants to share the feel of the wind, the quietness of the world while in the tree with her parents.
It's a wish of mine, as my parents have not seen me climb trees before. Once I was on a 40-meter high tree and a strong gust of wind came, and I saw from afar trees nodding at me one by one. And when it finally reached me, what did I do? I also nodded back because I was on a tree too.
From 2 years ago, when climbing a 2-story high tree would make her dizzy, to now being able to go up a 23-story high tree with ease, she thoroughly enjoys her job.
I feel this job makes me happy. Each part of the job brings me joy.
Choosing perhaps a different path than others, she sees the world from a different, broader perspective.
Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers ask care recipients to write down the number of days they are willing to go vegetarian in a month and add it to the tree of blessings. In exchange for their word, the volunteers give them an apple, as an apple a day keeps a doctor away.
Cutting and gluing volunteers finally complete the apple tree of blessings. There is an added small pocket on the side to help the volunteers collect vows to go vegetarian.
770幾億啊，所以一日呢就有2億1千幾萬啊，所以今日呢你繼續種福哈，繼續種福，每月食齋4日啊。
This says eat vegetarian to accumulate blessings while eliminating the epidemic. This is an apple tree.
In exchange for the promise notes in the pocket, an actual apple is given to the recipient in a symbolic gesture of auspiciousness and health. Other neighbors have also decided to join the vegetarian way.
Trước giờ có ăn chay không chị? Dạ, ăn chay tháng 10 ngày hả? Hay quá, thôi giờ mình tăng cường đi được không? Cũng được chứ, đâu có sao. Tăng đi, muốn tăng mấy ngày? Nửa tháng nha. Tổng cộng kêu gọi được bao nhiêu người ăn chay? 5 người hả?
The pocket full of promises helps link up the vegetarian campaign. With these seeds of compassion planted, we look forward to it blossoming into a fruitful tree.
Tzu Chi volunteers deliver 85 box meals to the Taipei city government on March 26 to support their efforts against the coronavirus. Ko Wen-je, the Taipei mayor, joined Tzu Chi volunteers and suggested the government employees to take up vegetarianism.
He enjoys the meal very much. and scoops food to his mouth one bite after another, so he can be recharged after eating Tzu Chi's vegetarian box meals. Here is another person who loves Tzu Chi's box meal.
Tzu Chi's vegetarian box meal is more delicious.
The man has been busy in the morning, so when he opens his lunchbox, he starts devouring it. 10 Tzu Chi volunteers had to prepare them in the early morning. Not just the vegetables, the volunteers also give everyone a piece of fruit and prepare 85 box meals for the Taipei city government.
The employees of Taipei city government also work hard in their fight against the virus, so we feel we should prepare box meals for them as we're responding to the call for vegetarianism.
Tzu Chi volunteers hope that the city government employees can also become vegetarian and pray for the end of virus and for the earth.
Being vegetarian can feed more people because if we grow this crop for the cows, and the cows are then eaten by people, but not many people can eat the cows. That is why people say the major cause of global warming is that we eat too much meat.
Volunteers use the box meals to encourage everyone to work together and hope that this epidemic will end soon.
In Xiamen, China, a clothing company owner joined Tzu Chi in 2018 and started to adopt a vegetarian diet. Since he experienced the health benefits of the vegetarianism, he decided to share with his employees. He began cooking lunch for his staff every day. The company employees had a hard time accepting it at first, but gradually enjoyed the benefits of going meatless.
The person who stands in front of the wok is not a chef, but clothing company owner Li Xibang. To promote vegetarianism, he's cooking lunch for more than 70 employees.
I have adopted a vegetarian diet, and first of all, I feel healthier. Secondly, I have less worries, so I decided to promote vegetarianism. In the beginning, the employees could not accept it. Then I bought food ingredients and cooked vegetarian food.
To earn their recognition, Li had to cook food that appeals to the employees. He worked hard to improve the taste. Eventually, there were positive feedbacks.
Brother Xibang eats in the cafeteria with us. Starting from this year, we switched to vegetarian food. I realized that vegetarian food can also be nutritious. On the first day, I was not used to it. Then it got better on the second and the third day. It is good to adopt a vegetarian diet. It is good for our health and also good for the environment.
Determined to promote vegetarianism, Li is taking actions to prove that embracing vegetarianism can be simple.
Historically, the Hakka people moved to Indonesia from China and later spread across Bangka Island. As the mining business of tin thrived on the island, the Bangka Pinang harbor also prospered. Let's go back in time and learn about a powerful family's history. As the tin ore mining business expanded in eastern and central Bangka Island, the Bangka Pinang harbor became a lively area. According to literature, Columban student Kingdom's 16th student ordered his ambassador to find a base on Bangka Island to better control the place. Bangka Pinang Harbor was one of the 13th bases.
Berdasarkan urban development yang saya ketahui, pertama kali adalah port.
From what I know, Bangka Pinang Harbor's development started at a central spot that's easy for the ships to dock at the pier. Later on, there were more and more people as the mining activities kept on thriving. Then it spread to the northern areas.
Aktivitas tambang itu berkembang ke arah Jebus, kemudian terus ke arah utara, Belinyu Sungai Liat, sehingga timbullah kota Sungai Liat, kemudian timbul kota-kota yang lain.
The treaty between England and Holland occurred in 1814, and the Dutch colonial government took over the island. After nearly 100 years, the administrative center was moved to Bangka Pinang Harbor. Around mid-19th century, Lai Hongyo came to the frog village when it was still a swamp. The initial house didn't look like this. It was after a few renovations that it became a way it is now today.
Dari data apa kita bisa tahu bahwa rumah ini direnovasi?
How do we know when they had renovations? We can see from the ancestor's tomb that it gets fancier as the generations continue. My grandfather's tomb was marvelous, but my great-grandfather's tomb was ordinary.
Kakeknya kakek saya nggak bagus kuburannya.
So, as the local called this place Captain Lai's former residence, who is this Captain Lai? The historical data didn't record that Lai Hongyu was assigned as the captain or the leader of the Chinese community. However, his wife was the sister of the Montag mining head, Zhong Yonghuang. Lai Hongyu's power wasn't as great as his brother-in-law at the time, but it was a matching marriage for the two families. The Lai family's ancestor was appointed as a civil official by the Qing dynasty. It was ranked the 6th-tier civil official in the 9-tier governor system of Qing dynasty. Zhong Yonghuang was assigned as an official in charge of the royal diet. The ranking was also a tier 6 official, so the two families were on an equal status. The Lai family had 3 captains later on. According to the annals of the Dutch government, from 1892 to 1894, Lai Nanshen was named as a lieutenant of the Koba district in Mid-Menka Island. His brother Lai Nanheng was named the lieutenant of Montag from 1910 to 1912. Later on, from 1922 to 1926, the eldest brother Lai Nanchang became the lieutenant of Bangkok Pinom Harbor. The so-called Captain Lai here should be the 3 government officials of the Lai family. Bangka Island in Indonesia has an abundant storage of tin. At the beginning of the 18th century, a sultanate sent envoys to recruit Chinese laborers to work on the tin mines, so the mine business started booming. For hundreds of years, has the tin mine make people rich or poor? What other industries does the island have? Let's go find out.
The tin ingot is one of the needed components for electronic appliances, and 1/3 of the world's tin production is in Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's 2nd largest tin producer and also the world's largest exporter of tin. And most of the tin produced in Indonesia is in Berutang, Bangka. In the 2019 Indonesia Financial Report, the export of tin ingots reaches as many as 80.19%. It has become the main economic support of the country. Besides the tin, the white pepper produced here is also famous throughout Indonesia. What is special about its white pepper is that it is fragrant and also spicy, and it is a very good seasoning ingredient. The production reaches 30,000 metric tons every year. It is said that the miners during the Dutch colonial period has been growing white pepper trees, and to this day, the locals have been growing white peppers between 300 to 400 years. The first pepper plant was organized by Chinese miners. The plant was close to the tin mine, so whenever the miners were free, they could take care of their pepper plant. Every hectare of pepper plant can produce 150 kilograms of dry pepper, and they are harvested every 7 months. The price of pepper is low, but the farmers still work hard and are very demanding about the quality of their pepper.
Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers went to care recipients' houses to deliver aid so the children can have a better study kits. Take a look and see you next time.